everybody, Shannon and Karen with Wandering Out Yonder. Today, Shannon and I wanted to share with you guys the types of equipment that we have for our van adventures and traveling that we use to power up things in the van. This is part of the series that we're doing for Fantastic Finds for Fran. Wanted to share with you all of our power sources that we utilize.
All right, so we basically have two methods. We have if we have land power, which makes life fairly easy, and if we don't have land power, which then requires a little bit more of creativity.
All right, so the easiest way to start this out, as far as we're concerned, is to talk about what it's like when we do have land power. For example, we are camping in a campground where we have electricity. And that's the easiest way for us. We don't have to utilize as much of our power sources to run things or maintain things in the van. And Shannon's going to share with you what she does.
What we do with post power, right? It's pretty simple. You'll see right here. All right, so when we do have power, land power, which means we are at a campground or pretty much at a campground, and we have the post just like you would for an RV or anything. I keep all of my electrical stuff back here. When we get to the site, this is everything that I need. It has my extension cords, which I use a medium gauge extension cord. Now, I have a 225s, I have a 50, and we learned the hard way. I actually also have, in here I keep two 100-foot extension cords. Just because you never know where the power post is actually going to be. So I do keep those in there as a backup, but this is normally what I use all the time. So I do use the medium gauge extension cords because these are outdoor extension cords, and the medium gauge, it's got the nice plastic coating on it. I check these frequently for any fraying, any cracks or anything in the plastic, because you're in a metal box. And I want to be sure that we're using our power safely. So I've got this, and here we go. This is wonderful, and I'm going to show you what this does. We're plugged into the post, into the 15 amp outlets, and the blue is what we always use for our electronics. That's what we run and charge our phones, the iPad, all kinds of that stuff. This heavier gauge, that's what I use for the heat, the fridge, anything that has a little bit more pull to it. Now, as you can see, I'm using both of them right now. But occasionally, we want to power, say, our heat pads. We need more. And I don't like to overload these. So what I can do is use this adapter. This is the 30 amp. This plugs into there. And then you are good to go.
All right, so once Shannon gets all this plugged in, we run it up through the front window here.
Right, and right now, this is something extra that I add. They're calling for rain overnight tonight. So as you can see, the window is cracked to get our power in. Now here's the screen to our window covers inside. But I'll feed the power into Karen. She hooks it up inside where we need it. But this is then to cover up our little crack there.
And that way the rain will come down the plastic and not in the window. So, yep, that was Shannon's idea.
And I'm also drying my towel off of it right now.
Okay. All right, again, so Shannon, we feed it in through that crack right there. This is our window cover, our screened window cover. All right, and then feeds up here. This is an adapter, so we can plug different things into this. Right now we have, that is my heating pad. That is the power to charge the iPad and our phones. and this is for the Keurig. So we're able to use all these things from that. We run it up here, and then it plugs in up there, and we're able to charge, keep our cords up here, and that kind of thing.
Yeah, and that's just off of the blue. That's just the lightweight.
Right. And then the red one, you see the red cord right here, that's fed through too, and we have an adapter on it. Right now we are running the refrigerator, the Bouge RV, and the Dyson fan off of it right now. And then Shannon can also run her heating pad off of it if she wants to. So that's how we are powering on land power right now. All right, Shannon?
That's right.
All right. All right, so as you can see, when we have electricity, we just pretty much plug in and we're good to go.
We're ready to go in a matter of seconds.
Yeah. But when we do not have that option, when we are camping somewhere with no power, we have to get a little bit more creative in how we want to utilize things for heat, for cooling off, for maintaining our Bouge RV refrigerator, running our heat pads when we need them, running lights, the electronics, yeah, keeping things charged up. So we have to try to utilize those types of electric sources in order to maintain those things. All right, so we are able to show you just on this small table the things that we use. We don't use a whole lot really. Behind you right here is a solar panel that we picked up when we bought our Jackery.
Right.
This is the solar panel that we bought.
Right. Karen did some research and we found out that this solar panel is actually compatible with pretty much any of your major power supplies that are out there.
Right.
We went with this particular one because, first of all, it had great reviews. It was significantly less than the big name brand solar panels. We cannot compare how much better or worse it may be, but it has worked fantastic for us.
Right.
One of the big selling points on this one was it has the ability to direct charge. So, yeah. So, and here's where I also like this. They all didn't come with this pack, which I've got a lot of wires to keep up with. So this was helpful. So you can directly charge. You can plug in your phone into this with your regular adapter to your phone. It plugs in. It has USB
capability.
Yes. You plug in anything USB. So from here, without hooking up to our power stations, I can directly charge our phones, the iPad. These fans are USB rechargeable. So I can plug this into the solar panel and directly charge and bypass all of this if we choose to go that route.
Right. So this is one of our sources right here.
Okay, so we have this all opened up now. It's very cool. It is a 100-watt panel. Already showed you the very cool pocket on the back for storing all of your wires. It's magnetic, which is really cool. So it keeps it all together. It has these kickstand, so as it's set up,
outside.
Right. And this I slide down between my bunk and the wall.
Right.
That's all the more room that it takes up. And we use one panel right now to recharge all of this.
All right, so then our other resources for power are, most of the time we use the Grow Watt as far as the batteries, the big resources go. We have this Jackery 300, which is pretty good. It'll power up our phones, the iPad.
Right. Yeah. Mostly we are going to be using this for our electronics. It will run, we did a video, it will run our heat pads. Not as long as this. This is a bigger unit. This is a 550, this is a 300. But having two of them is going to be able to allow us to share the power.
Right. And then when we're out on trail, like when we're videotaping things that we're doing out on trail, sometimes if we're getting low on battery life on our phones, we will pull these out. We carry these with us in our backpacks, and this is an Anchor.
Right. These are it's an Anchor power bank. We have this size that, like Karen said, we use while we are out on trail.
And we each have one of these.
Right. And we are all about the dual use. So we use them hiking and in the van.
Right.
And then we will get about 3 full charges for our phones out of this power bank before it needs recharge, which then can be hooked up directly to the solar panel to recharge this or to one of our power units.
Right.
And then we also have the slightly bigger one, bigger unit for a bigger electronic. We like to take the iPad. We like to watch Netflix in the van. So we've got the bigger unit that, what does that get? 3?
That thing, 3 days worth of.
Right, for the iPad. And we let the iPad run.
Yeah.
So, all right.
All right, and so this is another one that we actually do use this one. And it's really funny because the story behind this one is this was a Christmas gift that was given to Shannon by her mother. And when we got it, we were both like, is it even really going to work, right?
Right, and this was pre-Fran.
Yes.
Yeah.
This was when we were tent camping. And we actually utilized it in Shenandoah. We were way out in a walk-in site and needed to charge our phones and our iPad. So we took this with us and we stuck it out in the sun, and while we were out hiking we had things charging, and believe it or not, this thing did a fantastic job.
Right.
Yeah, we were both so impressed with it that we now make sure that we take it with us. So this is another resource. It's you leave it out in the sun and it will, like, it's a solar panel basically.
Right. You can hang it from a tree to catch the rays that way. I like to put it in the dash of the van. So on the other side of the sun blocking shade, slide it in underneath there and it gets sun, and you come back from hiking and it's ready to charge.
And it's called a Dizaul. How do you say that?
Don't know.
Dizaul. I don't know where she got this from, but it works really well.
Great.
So anyhow, we have that as well. Now, the other resource that Shannon and I use are batteries. Now, they do make these now where you can charge them USB.
Yeah, there's rechargeable ones.
There are rechargeable ones.
Right.
These are not the rechargeable ones. These are the earlier ones, but this is another gift that was given to Shannon by her grandmother years ago. And when we got it, we were like, okay, thank you, and we put it up somewhere.
Yeah, I was gonna use it in my shed,
Right.
and then we got the van, and I was like, wait a minute, they're magnetic, they're lights. Yeah, we use these. They're called EBL rechargeable batteries, and these are the best. They hold charge like 3 times as long as anything else that I've ever used.
They are expensive, but they are worth it.
Right.
And I've always said, get yourself a battery charger and buy yourself the rechargeable batteries, because you're going to, first of all, save a lot of money, and you're not wasting so much with throwing out batteries.
Right.
But we've had these EBLs for quite some time.
Yep.
Yeah,
They charge fairly quickly, and they definitely hold charge longer than your standard other brand batteries.
Thanks. So anyhow, that is another resource that we have that we utilize. Things like these lights with the EBL batteries. All right, and then we also have some of these Lucci lights.
You just go straight out solar.
They're just solar, and these things are fantastic.
All right.
We can throw these in the front window of the van while we're driving to recharge them.
Right. These were actually some lights that I had picked up while we were tent camping, and again, dual purpose. They can hang on the back of your backpack. They can be charging if you're out hiking. 100% solar.
So anyhow, as far as a cooking source, Shannon has propane. We have a stove with propane that we can use if we need to cook outside, to build a fire if we need to.
Right.
When we do not have land power. The other thing that we can do is we can utilize some smaller kitchen appliances along with the grow watt. It will power those up to, I think, 1,000 watts. So we do have to kind of watch out for that. But like our Joule, I think we did a video a little while back. You guys saw the Joule. little pot that we can utilize the grow on as far as cooking, a cooking source. So we have a source to have power for lights, to help run our fans to keep us cool in the summer or the warmer weather, and also for cooking resources of powering up our phones and our iPad. So we do have everything really right here that we need, that we feel is all that we need. Now, as far as in the winter, we don't really have a resource for powering our heater.
No.
However, Shannon and I are okay with that. We have camped in some pretty cold weather. I think as low as 15 degrees in the van, and we were okay. It was cold, but we were fine. And the other thing I always tell her is, you know what? All we have to do is turn on the van. We have a heater in the van. Well, it's never been so bad that we've had to do that.
And these will power. Both of these will power a heating blanket, a heating pad. We just can't heat the entire van.
Right, we just can't run a heater.
Right, we're okay with. The Dyson that Karen showed you in one of our previous videos, it is a fan and a heater. These will run the fan. They will not run the heater.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So you just come up with a plan B.
Right.
We have plan B and C, but for power, this pretty much covers us.
Right. So, yeah. It's pretty minimal, and we try to keep things as minimal as possible, and these are all things that we use. So there's no wasted space in the van. There's not something that we have that isn't going to be part of the function of the van and what we need. So we're happy with our little minimal setup here.
Right, and we will be doing videos in the future more in depth on how we keep cool, how we keep warm, more in depth of our lighting system, all of that. But just as a starter, the power
that we use is right in front of you.
Right, the
here.
power that
That's
we
it.
use and the power that we need is all right here.
All right, guys. So hopefully this has helped some of you out as far as if you're new to van life, or you're trying to come up with some different ideas, or maybe you were looking for another source. Hopefully it helped you out. We're always glad to share what we do to see if that does help somebody out. So
trial and error.
All right. So thanks for watching, guys, and we will see you later. Bye.